Good morning, everybody. Not wishing to disappoint my regulars, it's my first day. Saturday, Sunday, Monday. It's day 4, and it reminded me that Iona doesn't open that early in the morning. The buffet's still closed, but I did manage to swipe a muffin off of the outside edge of the buffet. Don't know if I'm supposed to or not, to be honest, but hey ho. One thing you notice about most of the public areas on the ship, including the Horizon, is that they've got pipe music all the time, and it's really quite intrusive. It's quite loud, and it's very difficult to video anything and not get the music in the background, and of course YouTube doesn't like that at all. So let's just knock it down a bit. You can't sit and have a peaceful muffin in the morning when you've got this playing all the time. Anyway, as I say, it's day 4, and it's been a very strange cruise so far. Not in a bad way. It's definitely a cruise where we're finding we're getting a lot of firsts, if you like. The first, if that makes any sense, is that it's the first cruise we've ever been on where it's actually docked the very next day after departure. Normally there's always a couple of sea days somewhere. But no, we docked in Rotterdam the very next day, and it almost makes it feel a bit rushed, because we're used to sort of spending the first day relaxing, getting used to the ship, unpacking all that, but we were straight off the very first day. Although, having said that, the next first is the first time we've arrived in a port sort of late in the afternoon. It's the first time we've had an overnight port, so we didn't arrive until just after lunch, and we didn't leave until 3:30 the very next day. So it is another first. It's the first time we've actually had a layover in a port, or an overnighter as the staff seem to call it, and we didn't really make much use of that. I think a lot of people went into Rotterdam, 1 or 2 people I think, or more than 2 maybe, spent the night down in Amsterdam. We won't ask where. That's totally, up to them, private, we don't want to know. But that's a first for us. And we actually said yesterday, we went to Rotterdam Zoo yesterday, and we did say it was a little bit strange to be in the same place twice. We've never done that before. So there's a new one for us, and it was unusual. It was a first that we actually stood on the ship at night looking over the Rotterdam skyline, which actually is quite impressive at night. I wouldn't say it's that impressive during the day, but it was a sight that we wouldn't normally see, because normally at that time of night we're well out at sea and there's nothing to see anyway. Yes, so far we've had quite a few new experiences that we weren't expecting. Now, we're back on the Iona. I think my memory must be failing me, because I couldn't remember half the places on the ship, and it was actually quite a nice little pleasant surprise. Now we remember that bar, and yeah, we've been there. It's still a nice ship, it's still in very good condition. The staff are superb, as always. I've got to say, I'm really happy to say, so far the meals have been okay. In fact, they've been very good. The buffet food quality is excellent. You'll know if you've watched my previous Iona videos that I didn't actually like the buffet because of the layout, and that's still the same. The buffet is just very cramped and badly laid out, in my opinion. There's some columns in the middle of the aisles as you're going down to some of the sort of buffet serveries, and you can't get the wheelchair through them, which means you've got this sort of zigzag around them, and then people are walking the other way, and it becomes a bit difficult. And they do have this sort of two-way system where you collect the plates at either end and meet in the middle, so people are just clashing with the food. Well, the food on the whole has been really good, and we've had lunches, and the first night we had something to eat in here. No complaints at all. We had our first meal in the Opal restaurant last night, and while the meal was okay, I wouldn't say it was over the top. It was definitely a little minimalistic, maybe, with their idea of veg being 1 piece of broccoli and that's it. But that's fine. We'll go with that. It was sweet and sour chicken, and the chicken itself was really tasty. But maybe a little bit more veg, maybe. And I've heard 1 or 2 people already around the complaining that they're not getting any veg with the dinner. But it was nowhere near as bad as what we had on the Ventura in May. What we did notice straight away, and what I'd forgotten from last time, is that they have this virtual queuing system for the main restaurants where you jump on the app and you pop yourself in a queue. Now, we popped ourselves in the Opal queue and it said there was 8 guests. It doesn't really mean a lot. It's not 8 people, we think, it's 8 actual guests booking a table, which doesn't really tell you much because it could be a booking for 1, it could be booking for 10. And of course that doesn't help, because if the booking for 10 table becomes available before the booking of 1, they're going to get in first anyway. And just to prove the point, we booked at about 6:10, hoping to get in for 6:30, so we booked before we left the cabin. We went down to the restaurant to find that it's actually gone up to 14. And when we arrived at about 6:30, we asked them if it was available and how far we were up the queue, and she said no, come back, go and sit in the Anderson's bar, which we can't do because we've got the children with us, so we were just stood in the corridor basically. So we stood there and waited, and people were coming in and out, and the queue wasn't really going down, so one assumes again that other people are adding themselves to the queue, and the queue actually isn't changing, so that doesn't really tell you anything. You can go on it and it keeps saying you are number 14 in the queue, but that never changed. She asked me if we got a booking, and I said yes, and I got my phone out to show, and the app had gone totally blank, so she gave me the buzzer. So we stood in the queue and we're waiting for either the buzzer to go off or the app to let us know that a table was ready. And it was about 6:45 by the time the buzzer went off. The app still said there was 13 in the queue. So the app isn't really giving you much of an indication what's going on, but it does act as a virtual buzzer if you like, because it does go off and say your table is now ready. So we sat down just after 7:15. And we got a show booked for 8:30, and I'm thinking, well, that's a good hour and a half, if not more. And we were met by the waiter who led us to the table. I took a drinks order, very strange actually. He took half the drinks order and then said he couldn't take the rest because he moved on to the food page. So he very quickly took our bar order and then took our food order, and then we didn't see anything arrive for at least a good half hour. What was interesting is there was loads of people sat around, and none of those had got any food either. Anyway, cut a long story short, we got our desserts ordered about 8:20. Needless to say, we didn't get to the show. And I just thought that although the food quality was good, the service time was fairly bad. It was just taking far too long between courses. We'd got the 2 little ones, to the 3 and 6, and they don't like sitting around that long. So whether it looks like we're going to be forced into the buffet for the rest of the cruise, I don't know, but it was a little bit disappointing. It shouldn't have taken that long, to be honest. We've got a celebration night tonight. We've got another show booked at 8:30. We will be eating at 5, but that's a bit early. And it's a bit naughty that you have to eat that early just to make sure you can get out on time. We thought the Virtuosa was bad when we went with MSC because they were about 2 hours. But yeah, this is a bit bad. And it was early in the evening, and it wasn't that busy. There was lots of empty tables, so I'm not quite sure why that's taking that much time. And to be honest, when you ask for soup, and it takes, half an hour for the soup to arrive, you're thinking, well, surely you've got like a big vat of soup, and there's a bowl, and does it take that long to bring a bowl of soup? I don't know. But it's our first restaurant, so let's see if it changes. that's my early morning walk around the deck on our first day at sea. Let's see what we do for the rest of the day. I don't know where we're actually docking.
I'll get you.
As the flock to play a match, Timmy gives the ball a big kick.
So what made you order all the children's menu then?
Because Mummy wanted it.
Mummy wanted pancakes.
Oh, I see. So Mummy's had something off the child's menu then. I see. You all right with that, Al?
Yeah.
Oh, not enough ice cream though, is there?
Huh?
We need more ice cream, I think.
Why? Don't eat any more if you feel full. Who's this?